Autobots, roll out!
Hello and welcome to That's Just Prime, and today we're going to be taking a look at Xovergen's Grand Patriot. This is the red version, and this was another one of those figures that got a lot of negative attention, but I still love this toy. Released in 2011, this guy's not based on any Optimus Prime that you've seen on a TV show or a movie. Instead, this guy was loosely based on the Rolling Thunder Optimus Prime, which was a concept on a comic book that was a Transformers G.I. Joe crossover. It was a very cool little concept, and this guy is loosely based on that. Now, like I mentioned, it got a lot of negative attention because even though the toy concept is really, really cool and they put a lot of play options into this, there's a lot of things to be desired still from the build quality and the quality of the plastic, and we'll be going through those as I go along with the review. Like I mentioned, it came out in 2011. It was originally only available in the 2-pack. I mentioned that this was the red version. There was 2 versions of this figure that originally came out. This guy right here, and then there was an all-green version as well. And initially, when this guy first came out, he was only available in both. You had to get both. Later on, they started releasing them individually. When that happened, it was originally retailing for approximately $90. This guy is still available online at some online retailers, and he is going for a little less than that nowadays. So if you want to get this guy, you can get him for cheaper than he was. And you can get him individual if you want to get just the green version or just this version here. In the truck mode, as you can see, he's kind of a sort of Hammett-y look. I'm going to say Hammett-ish looking military trailer. Truck and trailer. Very cool. Again, I drove Hammett's in the Army and the PLS systems. I was actually a trainer on those. So I love Hammett's, and I love anything that looks like a Hammett, and this kind of looks like a Hammett to me. So I love it. I absolutely love it. The truck part here, the front part of the truck, is about 7 inches long, approximately 2¼ inches tall. The trailer is approximately 8 inches long, about 4 inches tall. In total, it's about 12 inches in length. It could be 12 or 13 inches in length. Now, reason I say that is because there are actually 2 hitches up here at the front of or at the back of the truck rather. So you can hitch it up on the, I think it's actually meant to hitch to the back one there. So that would make him about 13 inches in length. And I'm not quite there it is. That would make him about 13 inches in length right there. Personally, I like there's a feature, and I'm going to show it off later, where you can take the missiles off and mount them on the tractor itself. And that's what these front ones are for, but I personally like the look of it better with the trailer mounted there and the wheels a little further sunken in, and I'm not catching it. So I like that look better, but that gives me about 12 inches right there. As far as I'm still not hitched on, how about that? So there it is. There you go. As far as weapons goes, this guy comes with quite a few weapons. Right now, most of them are actually mounted in, and we're going to see them as we go along into the base and robot mode. But he does come with 2 of these guys right here, which is a really cool looking weapon. It's very much so based on his ion blaster that he had back in the G1 days, as you can see. And what's cool about these guys is that this is all translucent blue plastic. The black was painted over the translucent blue. It's completely hollow all the way across. You can see all the way through on these guys. And it's got 2 of these guys. Very, very nice looking weapons. It opens itself up very easily to customizing these guys, especially with this little hole in the back. You can use just a weapon like this and maybe put an LED in there to try and light the whole thing up. Or when they mount into the back here for the base mode, you can maybe try and put some LEDs in there as well. To try and light this guy up. There's options. Like I said, this guy does give a lot of play options. Now, as far as mounting them on the vehicle, you can mount them there on the side like so. So there's one option that you can do. Or there is also this piece on the back here, and this is typically the way I like to display them when in truck mode. I know I'm not typically a fan of having weapons mounted on the vehicles. But in the case of this vehicle, it's a military-looking vehicle, so that really doesn't look off-place to me, and I kind of prefer that look better right there. Now, we're going to do something a little different here, because typically I go into the truck first, and then I go into the base last, but because of the way this figure plays, it would make more sense to go into the trailer first. So we're going to set Grand Patriot off to the side here, and we're going to start looking at the trailer. So this guy opens up and it turns into a base, as most Prime trailers do. So what you're going to do is we're going to grab it right here from the front, and we're just going to split the whole thing in half. Now watch these missiles here. These are going to fall off right there. And we're going to concentrate on these right now, so I'm just going to set this aside. Like I mentioned, there's a play option with this guy where you can take them and just mount this is actually your trailer hitch right here. This came through. Usually it just plugs in right there. When you mount the missiles into the trailer, this guy's going to mount right there, and that's going to close around that, and that's going to be your trailer hitch right there. So when you open this guy up and take these out, you're actually removing the trailer hitch, which allows you to mount the missiles, once again, like I said, on this front part of the hitch right here. So you can mount your missiles there, line these guys up, and you can still spin them and whatnot. And now you have the option of having Optimus as a missile truck right there, just by himself, which I think looks really cool, and it's a very cool play feature. Unfortunately, the weight of the missiles is such that the arm doesn't really hold it very well. If I get past a certain point, it's just going to dip down. So I'm kind of playing the balancing game right now, where there you go. So yeah, that's really more balancing game. If I play with it, that's going to happen. Another option that you have is you can take the missiles off, and you can bring the weapons in, these guns. And I'm going to get a little bit ahead of myself here. The part in the back of the trailer here where these cannons were mounted earlier, this comes right off. You can just pop that piece right off. And this part here is the exact same base that you saw over there on the trailer. So this guy is designed to come off, and you can actually put him here as well. And now you can mount the cannons the exact same way that I had it mounted on the trailer earlier. So now you can have Optimus here, or Grand Patriot rather, carrying his guns as well. So you can do that too. And then if you want, you can take one of these off. And then these guys are designed, they have two clips on the back of the guns right there, and there's a slot in there. So you can take this and it'll slide right through and clip right there. So you got a big cannon right there. So you can make Optimus here a big cannon truck, and if you can balance it, there you go. So there you go. So it's like I said, lots of play options, and we're just getting started. When we go as we go into the base mode, you're going to see there's a lot of play options there as well. So it can be a fun figure if you can get around some of the construction issues that we have with it. So sending all the weapons off to the side and looking at the trailer itself. So cool looking trailer. I just really like the overall design of this guy. Earth Federation Tactical Force on the side there. I don't really even know what that's supposed to mean, but as we were doing earlier, go ahead and just grab the trailer and split it in half. It's going to open all the way through. You can see the outriggers right here on the bottom. You can flip these out, and these are going to provide support. Around the bottom here, we've got a little more plating. This guy's going to just flip all the way around and give us a little more floor there. And then you've got these kind of computer stations right here. These guys just kind of fold out. And you can again set these up any way you like, or whatever makes sense to you. If you want to do them like this, I typically angle them up a little bit so that they look more like stations of some sort or whatever. So there we go. And then again, we can take this this part of the mount that was originally here. This is how it was originally mounted, just like so. So you can take that guy right there, flip it around, come around this side, and we can mount our cannon. Once again, mount our cannon right there. There we go. So you can do that, or you can put them both on the top here if you want. You can go over here to these peg holes on the side, and you can mount the guns there if you want as well. So let's see, let's try that. We can do that right there. We can take this off one more time and bring the missiles and mount those there. If you want to mount the missiles there, you can do so. Just like that. Just try and get the whole thing on shot there. There you go. So there's one more thing you can do. You can take the missiles off. Let's do this. Let's put this guy back on. This is kind of the way I like it the best. Put this gun here. And there's just so many options. You can just go nuts moving these guys around. Take that cannon off. You can leave one of these off to give to the robot later. And then you can take the missiles here. These split apart, and you can mount them on the sides here. Now this is a part here that I haven't quite figured out. I guess the warhead part of the missile, you call this. These are on a hinge and these flip forward. So I haven't really figured out what the point of that is, but there's that's something you can do, I guess. So there you go. That's kind of the way I prefer to do it, is to just mount the cannon in the center there, and just have those guys on the side there look like little towers or whatever. That's, again, it's a toy. Use your imagination. Go nuts. There are so many different options that you have with this guy, and it really does deliver when it comes to the play options. There's just a whole bunch of stuff that you can do. So it can be a very, very fun figure. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this guy was based on the Rolling Thunder Optimus Prime, which was part of a Transformers / G.I. Joe crossover comic book. So this base right here is meant to be in scale with G.I. Joe figures. And so to demonstrate that, I am going to go ahead and bring in my entire G.I. Joe collection. There you go. That's it. I actually went to the dollar store and I picked up Duke here for the sole purposes of having him with this trailer when I bought this figure. So I want to get a Snake Eyes, but I haven't been able to find one. So there you go. My entire G.I. Joe collection right now, right here in front of you. Awesome. But so yeah, there you go. Check it out. It looks pretty cool. It is in fact in scale. We'll take away his weapon. Let's just get rid of the loose stuff here. And there you go. You can put like weapons and equipment over there, and you can have Duke here at the computer, or man in the cannons, or I don't know. You can make these stations of sorts, I suppose, there, and maybe over here as well. So again, use your imagination, and there you go. If you have G.I. Joe figures, you can use them with this little base as well, which I think is really cool. So there you go. Now, unfortunately, like I said, he is in scale. He's meant to be in scale with the base, and I think that it delivers. I think that actually works. However, he's not quite in scale with the truck. Look, when you set him next to the truck, that's really not working. He's a little humongous with the truck. So, unfortunately, in truck mode, he doesn't scale very well. But like I said, that base works really, really well. With your G.I. Joes, I think it works, and I think it looks fantastic. So, with that, I think we're pretty much done with the trailer and Mr. Duke here, Mr. Channing Tatum. So we'll set him aside. And there's one more thing that we're going to do with that trailer, but we'll do that in a little while. So let's just get all the stuff set aside, and we are going to concentrate on Optimus here. Like I said, we're going to go a little bit backwards here because of the way it plays. So, getting into transformation, I'm going to tell you right now, it can be difficult. It can be a bit of a pain. It can be fiddly. Parts tend to just pop off because of the quality of the plastic with this guy. You can hear right there a lot of squeaking. That's your wheels squeaking right there. So, there's issue number one with the quality. Just very, very squeaky wheels. Getting into the transformation, I'm going to do my best to make this a clean transformation, meaning no parts forming. There are parts on here that come off very easily, and it's just a lot easier to take the parts off transforming and then put the parts back on. But for the purpose of the review, I'm going to do my best to do a clean transformation. So I'm going to start in the front here, and these, oh, by the way, that's being a third-party figure, I put the Autobot symbol there, so that was on me. I'm going to start right here, the front and sides of the truck. These are going to be the arms, so I'm going to go ahead and just rotate these to the side and then pop them up like this just to get them out of the way. And I'm going to go, let's see, we're going to go here next. So the front wheels here are pegged into the front of the truck right there on both sides. So just unpeg those, and they're going to kind of just rotate down. And this is going to be interesting. So I'm going to bring this part up. And these pieces right here, this is the piece that is very infamous for just falling off. This little L-shaped part right here, this is just going to rotate up 3 times. It does click, so do that on both sides. And typically most people just pop, this thing pops off right here. It's not on a pin, it's not a all the way through pin or anything like that. It's just on there with pressure. So this thing very easily comes off just like that. As you can see, very small stubs right there going into that piece right there. So like I said, but I really do want to try and do a clean transformation. So you rotate those up 3 times, line these guys up, and then you're going to push them in all the way. This is a good time to go ahead and rotate him at the waist. And also, it gives us a good angle to show you this. So the abs right here are going to slide down, turn, and then slide forward on the chest right here. And this can get really scary sometimes because the plastic feels a little thin, and it just you're afraid that at this point right here it just feels like you're gonna break them in half. And every time I've done it, and I've done this hundreds of times, and yet every time I do it, it feels like I'm gonna break them. But there you go. It hasn't broken yet, and I hope it never does. So far so good. So at this point, you can bring these guys up, and what's going to happen here is you see these tabs on the top of the wheels. These are meant to tab in to the back of the chest right here. So go ahead and tab those in, and they don't do a very good job of staying there. Probably while I'm fiddling with the rest of the vehicle or the rest of the transformation, there's a good chance that these are going to pop off. Let's hope they don't, but they usually do. So there you go. That's the back of Optimus done right there. The legs, you're going to extend these guys. These guys are really, really scary. I'm going to pop these guys open so you guys can see. This joint, these are on a ball joint right there, and you can hear what that sounds like when you move it around. It just sounds awful. And the ball joint itself, the peg with the ball, and this socket right here, these are almost a translucent white plastic. And it just looks and feels very, very weak. So when you try to extend the legs, more often than not, they pop out of the ball joint. So, and then they can also be extremely difficult to just pop off. So what I do is I try to grab them here as best as I can to do the extension, and then click them in place like that. So same thing on the other side. Extend it and lock it out. Let me bring these guys back down again. And that's not part of the transformation, these flaps right there. I just opened those up so I could show you what that looks like and where a good place to grab them is. So, and again, these popped off. Like I said they would. They typically do. But so far, so good. It's actually going rather well. I have to admit, I have to be honest, typically the transformation doesn't go this well for me. It's usually a lot more difficult. Knee pads right here, fold these guys up. The feet are going to open up. You got the back of the heel right there, and then the toes open. The front of the foot is going to rotate out, and then the toes are going to rotate out from there. Now, the toes don't click, so often while I'll be playing with them, I won't notice it, and the next thing you know, the toes are put away because they just folded themselves in. So just something to keep an eye out for. So there's both feet done. Come on. I said both feet done. Come on. It doesn't want to rotate out for me. Come on. Come on. Okay, seriously? Now it's going to mess with me. There you go. So the minute I said the transformation is going well, that's the minute things want to go wrong. So there we go. Rotate the arms down. These guys, you got to kind of rotate them around the back there. So rotate these guys down and around. And we will need to adjust our camera here. He's a good height. He's about Voyager size. So arms are going to extend, and then the fists are going to come out right out of here. Same time on the other side. Extend the arm, rotate the fist out, and then I saved this part for last. This was the front top of the cab there. This guy is going to pop up and slide all the way back, then rotate down around his back to reveal the head. And there is Grand Patriot in robot mode, and I think he looks gorgeous. Here in robot mode, Grand Patriot is approximately 7 inches tall, so about Voyager size. He's a really, really good size. Let me do a close-up right here so we can take a look at the face. Now, this guy came with 2 heads, or 2 faces rather. So you can switch them out to whichever one you like best. I don't currently have, I do have the other face, but it's in the box, and the box is put away in storage. So I don't have it here with me. However, out of the 2 faces that he comes with, this is the one that looks closest to Optimus Prime. So this is the one that I chose. So there you go. As far as articulation goes, let me bring it back down a little bit. So we've got a swivel on the head, so the head can turn. There is a little bit of up and down, but you're not going to get much use out of it. As you can see, it just kind of goes up a little bit like so, and it just feels like it's going to pop off. So you've got this T-joint here on the shoulder, so you've got a swivel that lets you go up, and then you've got a swivel right here for the rotation. And then, as you can see, the arms, very often, they have a tendency to just get in the way of, or rather the wheels get in the way of the arms, so when you try to move the arms around, you're going to pop those wheels off. So just keep an eye on those wheels. Alright, moving forward, you've got a rotation at the bicep, you've got a pin at the elbow, so you can go 90 degrees forward and backwards. And you also have, which this is really nice, the fist, even though it rotates out like so, you still get a rotation at the wrist, which is really nice. I really like that a lot. So there's that. You've got a rotation at the waist, as you saw earlier. Again, you guys saw that the hips are on a ball joint, so you can go in and out, you can go forwards and backwards. And you have to bear with that noise right there. You do have a rotation right there at where the thigh joins in with the hip. You have a rotation there. You've got a nice bend at the elbow, or at the knee here. You've got a full 90 degree at the knee, and then you've got your feet right here. If you want to tilt these up and down a little bit, let's do the transformation, but it's not going to really help you in posing. And see what I mean about the toes? Every time I move them around, the toes just kind of keep rotating in on me. So there's a couple of quality issues with this guy, but if you learn what they are and you kind of get around and learn to get around them, he's not terrible. Honestly, the biggest downside that I would say with this guy is transformation. You should not have to dread transforming a transformer. It should be part of the fun. And with this guy, it feels like a bit of a chore trying to transform this guy. Once again, I'm going to say this transformation went really, really well. It typically does not go as easy as it did here in front of the camera. A lot of times the thigh or the legs here, they don't want to extend. It's just really difficult to grab them and get them to extend. They pop out of the ball joint. The part in the wheels in the back keeps popping off, and parts pop off, or they feel like they're going to break. So transforming this guy can be a chore, and it tends to not be very fun. So that does take points away from this figure. But other than that, like I said, the truck mode looks fantastic. The base is a lot of fun, and I think this figure looks amazing. So you probably saw we've got some guns right here mounted. So he's got these shin-mounted guns. These don't do a whole lot in truck mode, but here in robot mode, you can just kind of pop these guys out if you want. Just kind of want to go nuts. You can pop these guys out like so. You can turn these guys forward if you just want to go nuts with an super killer Optimus Prime here. And then I am going to bring the base in one more time and show you one last thing that I promised you. So you guys noticed, I'm sure you did. You noticed these gas tanks on the sides of the base here, or the trailer. So these guys are going to pop right off. Get that guy out, and I'll just get the other one off camera. Come on. Wow, that guy's stuck. Come on. That guy's really on there. Does not want to come off. There we go. And we'll set the trailer off to the side one more time. So you've got these cool little gas tanks right here. Well, these guys are on pegs, and as you can see, there's little guns in there as well. So you can just reach in there and pull these guys out. And then you can use the same pegs that they were using for mounting onto the trailer. And mount these guys. You're going to see these peg holes on the side of Optimus's arms right here. So you can mount these guys right here on the arms. There you go. Mount those guys there. This guy's just, he's a wartime figure, so he's going to have guns everywhere. So you got those guns right there. We're going to give him his handguns or his hand cannons as well. We'll give him these guys, and there you go. There's a Grand Patriot or Rolling Thunder Optimus Prime just armed to the teeth and ready to blow off somebody's face. So much fun. Like I said, I can just keep going and going and going because the configuration options for this toy are limitless. The only limit really is your imagination. You can just go nuts, grabbing pieces from here and there, taking them off of this thing, putting them up over on that thing and whatnot. So you can just keep going, and we could just keep going all day on this, but I'm not. I want to try and keep it a little short. So just for closing, I'm going to give him like a basic look here and just put his guns away. I like to keep these pointing up because they kind of remind me of his smokestacks. So there we go. We'll get him standing here. Why don't we bring in Channing Tatum right here so we can get just a size comparison with the G.I. Joe. So again, the truck mode itself didn't really scale very well with the G.I. Joe, but as you saw, the base scaled okay, and so does the robot. So I think that looks pretty cool. And for the final shot, let me see if I can just get the whole base in the shot here. And we'll bring in, let's see, can we do this? Can we get everybody in the shot? This video is getting very long, I know. We need to get on out of here. So there he is. There's, come on, it's, he dropped his gun too. Okay. Yeah, this video is probably going to go into the blooper reel. This is not going well. Okay, here we go. There's Optimus, there's the base, there's Channing Tatum, and I think that is about going to do it. Actually, before I forget, there are two things that I did forget to mention on here. First thing, with the mount that we were using earlier for our missiles, this is on a hinge. It's got a hinge, 3 hinges here, here, and here, so you can actually move this guy around and pose him when you're using him as a missile carrier for the truck mode. So I forgot to mention that. And then also, this one is very important. Optimus here does have an opening chest with a little matrix inside. I would be remiss to not show that off. Now, it's very difficult to get that guy out of there, and unfortunately, I am going to have to recruit the help of a little screwdriver here just to pop that guy off and show this matrix off. And what this is really is just kind of like this little disc, little puck piece right here. It's the same on both sides, and it's just a little translucent blue piece that just plugs in right there into the chest. But so there it is. Normally I just keep that there. It doesn't really do much else. It would be nice if you could get like a little LED in there to try and light that up or something like that, but then you'd have to be careful because the head does have to go in there in truck mode. So, but there it is. I would have been remiss had I not shown that, and I almost forgot to do so. So, I think with that, that is going to do it for Xovergen's Grand Patriot. What did you think of this figure, and what would you like to see me review next? Let me know by leaving me a comment, give me some thumbs up, subscribe and share with your friends if you like what you see, and I'll talk to you next time on That's Just Prime.